One of the best ways to use your sourdough discard is to make these wonderful chocolate chip cookies. Keep watching this video for the full recipe. To make your brown butter, melt a stick of butter in a pan over medium heat and continuously stir until it turns a deep brown color. You can just melt your butter in the microwave, but I highly recommend you brown it, especially if you have not tried it before. It adds such a unique and delicious flavor to your cookies. I am making double of the recipe, so that's why I added 2 eggs instead of 1. And all you want to do is just combine your butter, eggs, sugar, and sourdough discard. And you want to mix it until it is a smooth and cohesive mixture. And try not to mix on your scale if you are using a scale to measure out your ingredients, because it just damages the scale in the long run. Now it's time to add in our dry ingredients. I sifted the bread flour, all-purpose flour, tapioca starch, baking soda, and baking powder together into this mixture. And I highly recommend sifting your flour just to make the consistency as fine as possible. It's really going to help whenever you are combining your cookies. I like to include tapioca starch or cornstarch because it helps to create a lighter cookie. I've used either or in the cookie recipes and they both turned out really well. But I like to use tapioca starch just because it's a little bit more easier to digest than cornstarch. One of the best techniques to make good cookies is to not overmix your dough. So whenever you sift your flour, you're creating a more smooth consistency that combines a whole lot easier to your cookie dough. Before all of the flour is combined with the wet ingredients, go ahead and add in your chocolate chips or whatever mix-ins you want to include in this cookie dough. There is no set amount. You can add as little or as much as you want, and it turns out great. And you just want to continue mixing until there is no more visible flour or any more dry spots in your cookie dough. Everything should be that light brown color. And I was just making these cookies into 1 tablespoon size cookies today, but you can make these cookies any size you want to. Just know that your baking time will be adjusted slightly. For best results, I recommend you bake these cookies in a preheated oven at 375 degrees for around 8 to 10 minutes or until you get the desired level of brown that you like. And another key tip in baking is to make sure that the bottom of your baked good doesn't get too brown or doesn't get too burnt on the bottom. Always bake with an extra cookie sheet in the bottom rack of your oven. So this helps protect the bottom from getting burned. By the time you are watching these cookies, we would have released our cookie cakes. So we have a 6-inch, an 8-inch, and a 10-inch heart-shaped cookie cake in our bake shop. And we also have a round and a square. And these are just fun to make, to give as gifts, and to celebrate, and also to receive as a gift. You want to bake this in the same way you bake regular cookies, but just for a little bit longer. So I baked this for about 15 minutes, give or take. And the cookies come out so soft, but completely baked through. It's my favorite cookie, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.